a second.
No worries.
Clicking buttons. Sorry.
You're fine.
Okay. So, hello. I think Joseph.
Yes,
correct?
that's me. Yes.
Okay. And sorry,
Am
your colleague?
Amber. Right.
Amber.
Yeah.
Well, nice to meet you, Amber. I'm Veronica,
Nice to meet
and
you.
I'm saying hello from gloomy, grey London suburbs.
Yes.
We're saying hello from usually sunny.
It's usually
Albuquerque.
sunny, but yeah, it's there's a monsoon.
It's raining today.
Yes.
Oh, is it? Okay. Where are you based? Located? Sorry?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
New Mexico. Okay,
Yes.
nice. I've never been there. I'm sure it must be beautiful when
yes.
it's not raining.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm really happy to have you here on Pitch Investor Live app, straight from my office in just outskirts of London, and really happy to be with you and looking forward to hear about your project.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, FreeRange. We actually started out as a co-working space company. We had opened 3 locations. Migrated towards blockchain tech, actually. We launched one of the most popular decentralized apps on Ethereum. We had beat CryptoKitties in daily active users. That was in May. After that, we started... visitor.
Yes, these are my colleagues. Don't worry.
No worries.
They'll be, walking in and out. It's your thing. I'm on a headset. We're perfectly
no worries.
fine.
So, yes. So, we did that. We're currently revamping the our DApp. We noticed that gas fees were, one of the biggest hurdles to onboarding users. So we're currently redeveloping that. We also built out...
I think you just froze there. Connection probably.
Uh-oh.
I'll be waiting and hoping that we can reconnect and reestablish the connection.
Yeah. Are we back? Are we?
No.
Oh.
No. Are you still frozen?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Yeah. No.
I can't hear you.
Maybe we try. Should we go to the router? Closer to the router.
Let's see. Maybe it's not working.
Yeah. Why don't we'll go this way. Here, let's just go. Okay. Oh, it died.
Oh no.
Oh, is that? Do you have us? Hello.
Is it? Texting?
Yeah. Oh.
So sorry about that.
Oh,
Something
no
happened.
Oh, are we back?
Are we back?
Yes,
Okay.
we're back.
Wonderful.
So that's great. Really sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I couldn't hear you anymore.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been working on the DApp, and we have a few other projects. Token Analytics Suite at the moment. So we pretty much took all the data from Ethereum, 37 million wallet addresses, about 500 million transactions. I don't think it's $100 billion worth of cryptocurrency right now. It's probably, I'm guessing it's at 80, but we built that out because we realized we needed to track a lot of information. We are trying to create a blockchain marketing platform, but it's hard to do marketing, especially with, let's say, your token, if you can't do any analytics and find out where your token's going. So we've been working on that. We're also able to add metadata to a lot of these wallet addresses, IP addresses, email addresses, names, country of origin, and we're able to sort of see if is this wallet tied to this other wallet? What's the probability that it's the same owner, etc. So we've worked on that. We're heading up to Wyoming Monday, talk to their legislative committee for blockchain.
We're really trying to make a hub here in Albuquerque to support blockchain and the technology and all of the benefits in different verticals. And to Joseph's point, really the insights that we can garner out of behavioral activity through Ethereum, graphical representation of the data. We are interested in being able to provide a lot of information to not only government entities, but across all the various industries, healthcare and beyond.
Yes, I know we keep talking a lot, but yeah, we're also looking at providing KYC AML solutions for banks at the moment.
I can't hear you again, unfortunately.
Oh no. Can you hear us now?
And I can't pinpoint on which side the technical problem is. I seem to have network and everything is fine on my side. I'm not sure about your side. But unfortunately, it's frozen again and I can't hear you.
Oh no.
So,
I guess it'll be a second again.
Yeah. Shoot. I guess. Huh.
it's,
I wonder if there's a way to. Shoot. We did do a speed test. Still can't hear us at all?
It's just all Please wait.
But I did do speed test. We're back.
yeah, we're back indeed. I don't know why this is happening. I have full bar, small network, everything is fine. I have no idea why this is going on, to be honest with you. So let's hope third time lucky. Okay?
Yeah, we did do speed tests too. We think we're good on our end here.
Yeah, I think I'm good on this side also. It's just, I don't know. I never had this issue before. Let's hope this time it will work.
Yes.
And we won't get stuck anymore.
I guess what we're doing on our end at the moment, one of our big pushes is, companies like ours have had a very difficult time getting bank accounts. And I know a lot of other ICOs or crypto-based companies have had the same issues. So
yes.
What we're pivoting towards a little bit is with our analytics platform, we do want to provide a KYC AML solution for financial institutions because we are able to trace a lot of transactions on Ethereum. So let's say an ICO that has already launched a token. We can gather their wallet addresses and again create a backend for, let's say, banks that access so that they can be in regulatory compliance and to make sure that their clients aren't taking funds from bad actors. So that's our big push at the moment, and that's our reasoning for heading over to Wyoming.
Where is your company registered?
We're a Delaware C Corp.
Okay. Before I start asking more questions, because I did have a look at your website and your Telegram and your white paper and your various other links and places. So as I said, I'm Veronica, and I am well, I do various things in blockchain, to be honest with you, starting with mining, investing, angel investing, and now being the a founding partner of a crypto hedge fund. And now going to, that's enough about me. Going to questions. What I noticed when I looked at your white paper, for example, is that, and when I joined your Telegram group, is that initially you had, do you have two types of tokens? Because I saw mention of egg token and chicken token.
Yes.
And it's slightly confusing.
Yes.
Why the two, and how are you raising by using the two? Because from what I've seen, ICO is mainly centered around the egg token. And I don't know exactly how the other token fits into this picture.
Yes. So,
Can you still hear me?
The biggest push was regulatory compliance with the SEC. The idea
Doesn't look like it.
Oh, can you hear us?
Right. It looks like this is going to be a troublesome session with some connection getting lost quite often. I'll see what I can do from my end. For all those of you watching, I apologize for the technical inconvenience, or for all of you, those that will be watching after this. Sometimes technology comes with glitches as well.
Yeah, that's
part of life, and we just have to deal with it. I'm just still waiting to reconnect right now.
okay. At least the radio's really light today. So. You know, the thing is, we can hear you just fine, which is interesting. So,
Hello?
You know, the two token thing is just, I know.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi, we're back.
Hey, it looks like we're going to keep doing this all day.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
I also don't know. I've also messaged Diane asking if there is anything, happening. I don't know if it's on the platform side or whichever side, because from my side, I really don't have anything that I can do, to be honest.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, so the two-token system was sort of an evolution of the SAFT in a way, going past that to where we were actually offering equity, and as an equity-based security token, and then giving away utility token as a bonus. You know, it would sound like a great idea in theory. You know, the legal team loved it. It's come to find out later, projects like ours and a few others that had a two-token system, it turned out to be very confusing. You know, and in hindsight, it's probably something we would have never done. You know, at the moment, we just would rather focus on an equity raise. You know, we still have our utility token. It's traded on Fork Delta very minimally. The trading volume's very minimal, but it's just again, yeah, that was in hindsight. A two token model is probably not the right way to go. Maybe in another year or two, it'd probably make more sense to investors, but it just didn't fit their algorithm. As far as like, what the heck is this?
Yes, because I had a look, and I know that you made a mention also in the summary and everywhere else that you have supplied a form to the ACC, the C form,
Yes.
which is a disclosure type of form. And as far as I know, that is related to the a different type of fundraising format, which is I think it's called CF or something like that.
Oh, that was that's a fun story too.
Because from my information, that kind of limits you to about $1 million or something, £1 million. 1,070,000 or something like that.
So it's interesting. We're actually, the limit was 107,000.
Okay.
We had to get an independent financial review in order to extend it to the 1 million. When we extended it to the 1 million, our investors had to reconfirm their investment because there's a material change. Unfortunately, there was a glitch with the portal to where people were not able to reconfirm their investment, and their funds were automatically refunded, which ended up killing our crowdfund campaign. So we just 75% of the funds were refunded. We ended up just refunding the rest as of last week. So now we're
so how do the investors that use that platform, how do they feel about it, and have they still let's say come back to you and said, okay, we understand the difficulty, we're still going to pledge money through this other format? Or?
They would like to go back in, and I mean, and some of the investors also qualify as accredited investors. So we're in the middle of building up just doing a private round of fundraising and bringing in some of those investors that had originally went in with us. Okay,
and this fundraising that you're doing right now, is it for how much?
We haven't we barely started crunching the numbers on this yet. It's because we wanted to do it more as an equity round, and we still our company still owns 80% of the egg tokens, the utility tokens, and that will just end up being thrown into the thing. But we'd so we're
so you haven't worked out a number yet, as in how much you wanted, because the one question that any investor would have is, okay, so what do you offer in terms of how much equity do you offer and for how much?
Yeah, so we've actually gone back and forth. This has been quite the journey from day one to now. So obviously, even in the legal field, with the advice we've received from our attorneys as far as valuation from when we started to now, we've really talked about, if we look at our crowdfund, we're looking at a really high valuation, which upon reevaluation, that doesn't make as much sense with the landscape and with everything that we've been doing up to this point. So like Joe said, we have several different numbers that we've looked at as far as looking at an initial raise and then the valuation. I think we last spoke about a 5 million valuation for the company for this latest.
Okay. One other question is, I mean, I've seen your numbers in terms of active users, and I assume that when you say active users, you're talking about people that express their interest in participating in the gamified marketing campaign that you're proposing for your ICO or startup customers. Is that correct?
So at our peak, we were at about 650 daily active users, and those are unique wallet addresses that were interacting with the DApp.
Okay.
We have about 87,000 users that signed up for the airdrop. So our plan with this or that was we are rebuilding the backend to where we're going to create user accounts pretty much for all these users. We'll slightly centralize part of how the backend works, and then in order for those users to get their tokens, they will have to actually onboard onto the app and actually participate in the game. So that idea then would be to, let's say we can also onboard quite a few more users than what we actually had interacting with the DApp a few months ago.
Okay, and in terms of because it's great that you have active users on the platform. It's wonderful, but in terms of actual clients, when I say clients, I mean the actual projects that want to use your platform. Do you have, how many of those you have, or how many have expressed interest?
We had multiple interest. We had about 20 or 25 projects that had applied through our sign-up form. one of the issues that we were going through was, if we're letting them distribute their utility token, is it utility versus security? There's lots of legal, issues. It would be nice if, all the jurisdictions we're in, would clarify this is utility, this is security. So again, we had interest, but it's still there's still legal,
So you still have a road ahead of you to kind of establish a lot of the legalities around how you do it and how this is going to happen in practice, if I understand correctly.
Correct. That's why we're pretty proactive. Heading up to Wyoming to talk to them at their blockchain task force committee. This Monday and coming up. And
okay. And in terms of monetization, I understand that you will perceive a fee percentage on your platform for ICOs to use it, and also will the active users, the ones that, let's say, answer the questions. So if we look at your what you're actually offering, I understand it's a bit of an A/B split testing. So if ICOs are trying to expand their network, make themselves noticed, they sign up to your platform, then they set up a bounty or whatever reward system they want to use, whether in Ether or their own native token. And then they ask questions to the community, and whoever, the group that answers goes towards one of the answers, wins kind of, and then that reward is split amongst the of those who chose that answer. Is that correct?
Yes, that was the original iteration.
Okay.
Yes.
So has that kind of, do you think that will change, or has it changed in any way, or is it still?
We're looking at more of, pretty much rewarding participants no matter what question they choose.
Okay.
And then also our idea is to start adding a lot more metadata as far as every participant, every wallet address that participates, again, like start building a user profile of that, that person, what they like, what they don't like, where they're from, et cetera. And then eventually we would like in the future to have ICOs to be able to do targeted marketing, towards this list of players that, or let's say they want to do an airdrop to people specifically in Russia, for example, being able to use our list and being able to, again, do targeted marketing and, let's say, email them like, hey, we're sending you, a bunch of, tokens for an airdrop. And,
Okay. Okay. Because I watched some of your videos that you posted on your site, and you said that you differentiate yourself by not being just a simple airdrop project, as in, not just facilitating airdrops, but also including that gamification element and kind of attracting people to use it that way and making them feel not only useful, but also getting a reward for it, if that's correct.
Yes.
So are you still keeping that, or it's more of a blend now?
Yeah, we're actually adding a feature from a UX UI perspective with a timer so that questions get pushed through faster and there's more of an imminent, people to get in and really
yes,
a lot more active. So that's also in our current next iteration of what our developers will be doing. But largely the core of it will remain that idea of onboarding users to then utilize the app and then receive tokens.
Okay.
For their participation.
Sure. And I assume that, as you mentioned in the beginning, all this data that you're consolidating and that you can make it available for not only institutions, but targeted marketing and so on. I understand that that's another business kind of monetization idea. So you're taking all this data that you're collecting and practically saying, okay, we can provide this service and we have all this data and you charge for it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. In terms of, because I've seen you have a mention, not sure if it's still up to date, about countries that are excluded from your raise and from your ICO crowd sale. But when it comes to, let's say, users, are you accepting users from US as well, or was that mentioned just for?
No, we are, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so from all over the world. When it comes to Europe, because I'm Europe-based, I have to say that when you collect all of this data, have you taken into consideration, or have you explored GDPR regulations and all of that, that it's kind of...
Yes, we have, yes.
Okay, cool. That's great. When you select ICOs that come to your platform, I mean, do you have any evaluation criteria, or, and no offense, the reason why I'm asking this is because if you look out there, there'll be good projects, really good projects, and there'll be some that are kind of, let's say, not so good quality. I don't want to use any harsh words, but, you know. So how would you differentiate, and how would you choose which ones can sign up to your platform and, you know?
Well,
so we basically have followed a lot of the industry standard models. If you look at ICO alerts or other vetting or platforms that put ICOs and projects onto their sites, there's basically an application form that asks and sees how legitimate they are. Looks at the team, looks at obviously what you did with us with our social media profiles and the quality of the project. So that was kind of where we wanted to kind of scale back and say, okay, well, we do have this interest and we have these terms that we want to vet these projects on, but then we have to also fit gap with the legal implications and everything else. So that's where we're wanting to make sure to cover all those bases.
Okay, sounds great. Now, when I was playing around on your website and to buy tokens or doing other things, I didn't buy any. I'm sorry, not yet.
No eggs.
But I was just kind of testing, trying to see how it works and what it does. You have a disclaimer that pops up, which is great. I think it's the right thing to do from a legal perspective. But you do mention there about minors that are not authorized to use your platform. And I was actually quite curious, how would you prevent that?
Really, this is part of also our legal advice. And again, it's our advice. So right now we don't have actual barriers as to because anybody can go and put a photo up or a video up. So that was more of right now we've actually blocked the photo option and we have YouTube up. So we go through their terms and conditions to make sure that we're sort of doing the protection on that.
But we are drifting towards creating user accounts. What we actually want to do for the next iteration is we'd actually be creating the wallets too. We know it's really hard to onboard people that haven't even been in crypto before. So that's one of our things that we are doing. Again, it'd be sort of onboarding a little bit like a traditional app, creating accounts and then creating the wallet addresses for them. And that would be the direction on that.
Yes, okay. More standard legal language that we received from our...
Okay, I understand. It's understandable. I was just kind of curious. Not a lot of websites will use it, and even if they don't, if they do, it's really not that easy to prevent that from happening. Let's just let's just say this is not Facebook or other sites, so it has a different purpose. I think you have an interesting idea. I just, who do you see as your main competitor in the market right now? And I'm not talking only about gamification type of, project such as yours, but I'm also looking at data consolidation and using that and marketing and,
When it comes to data, actually, because we're also looking at government contracts too at the moment. Chain analysis, that's our... that'd be a big competitor when it comes to data analytics, on blockchains. But I know they focus a lot more on Bitcoin. I believe they are doing, I believe Litecoin too. But they haven't really done much on analytics on Ethereum. But, nobody's really analyzing, okay, like these ones are, these are smart contracts, differentiating what some of these smart contracts are. That's something we feel like we have an advantage of. We're also receiving some technical support from some of our local government laboratories on some of this stuff too. So that's pretty exciting, and I think that gives us and we're seeking a grant with the Department of Energy actually at the moment to do some more development on more research on blockchain data analytics, and they've lent us some of their data scientists at the moment to help us out, which is great.
Okay, that sounds great. Please go ahead.
Additionally, I believe that there's also all of the parts that we've we've been able to be here since 2017 December and go from the ground up, from creating a DApp and going through all of the changes during 2018 and the regulatory landscape. And we have a unique set of information, I believe, with our team and the process that we've gone through. So we look, although there are competitors in the parts of what we've created, I believe we have a sort of suite option where we can cater and deliver multiple niche areas for different companies and industries. So I believe that's a value from for our company.
Okay, and do you think you're? I mean, it's just a question. Do you think you're transparent with your users in terms of the fact that you are using the data and that they're practically willingly providing? And are there any rewards for the fact that they register to your platform and their data can then be used for analysis that you'll monetize eventually?
Yes. So in our Telegram, we're very, very transparent. We need to update all of our platforms as far as our websites and white paper and everything as things change. We try to update as frequently as possible on the channels that we do have. We've updated on our Reg CF campaign as frequently as possible to our investors that had already invested. So yes, we are as transparent as possible. Everything that we do, we want to just be upfront on.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I think it's an interesting concept. There are, if you ask me, you do have competition out there because there are a lot of blockchain kind of centric companies. They're not necessarily working on a blockchain, but they do kind of offer cumulative type of products for ICOs and other institutions, whether it's data, whether it's marketing, whether it's so you're touching a bit of all those bases, which is great. I guess if I have to take it forward, you would have to have a little bit more details kind of set up before I can even try to kind of help you. In the meantime, we can take the conversation offline and look around. You were mentioning bank account and other things like that, and see if I can make any introductions or if there is any possibility of help over there on that aspect. It depends also what you have in mind in terms of where you're targeting to open a bank account, whether it's US, whether it's outside, whether how flexible you are, and otherwise it's really hard for me to say, oh yes, this is it's a great idea, but I can't say right now it's a really wonderful investment simply because you don't have all the numbers crunched yet and you don't have all the things set up at the moment. And so once you have that, you can shoot me an email and you can get all the details from Pitch Investors Live coordinators, and we can continue the conversation from there.
Great.
In the meantime, one note on a side note, I would like to say that I really like the fact that you work in a team and that I've seen your videos and so on, and you kind of always go together and you take the pitches also together. And it's really wonderful to see that, a woman is in your team and that you're actually utilizing, both of you are utilizing that diversity aspect in terms of, let's say, gender equity kind of thing. It's quite dear to my heart, so it's really pleasant to say that.
Wonderful, thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today on Pitch Investors Live. It was a pleasure to have a conversation with you from my office over here, and wish you all the best. And let's keep in touch.
Wonderful,
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.